Welcome, everyone. Bleeding Blue Podcast, episode 32, coming at you. It's a tough week for the Blue Jays.
Horrible week.
And horrible. Yeah, no, that's a great way to put it. It was putrid, pathetic, embarrassing, sad all around. It was really sad to watch. It made me debate whether or not I should just stop watching this team. But you know what? We are still here, and we're still here to watch and talk about the Blue Jays. But but yeah, no, Ryan, what do you get up to on the weekend? Watching this long 4 game set, very long.
Yeah, I watched most of the games. On Saturday, I went to the TFC game, which was a lot of fun. I had some pretty
Boring.
decent. No, stop it. It was a really good game. You hate on soccer too much, bro.
No,
This is
I
you
don't hate
know
on it
you see
enough. It needs to be a banned sport in the country.
the
No,
MLS, like, it's hit or miss with the MLS, dude. TFC's good this year. They were shit last year, but we had really good seats, me and my buddy. And it was 4-3. It was really exciting, back and forth. Really good game. What did I do Friday? I would check my schedule, but I don't have it on me because my phone's touchscreen's not working. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Not for the Jays though. Jays weekend was horrible.
God, yeah,
Really bad showing from the boys. Other
yeah,
than Thursday when we live streamed the game, which was awesome. That was a great game.
yeah.
The other three sucked.
Then we should get into that because the live stream was electric. It did not start.
Hmm.
It started out a little rocky. We were a little worried because of the fact that there was, of course, the day we live stream, the one time we do, there
Hmm.
is a power outage at Comerica Park, and Dan Schultz
Yeah.
having to play or talk to us and do the play-by-play on his cell phone. It was just ridiculous. You couldn't even see Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's home run. Who knew if it was a nuke or just like a wall scraper, you know? So
Mhm.
it was interesting to say the least. But other than that, man, that game was fucking awesome. We were on top of the world watching that game. 9 to
Mhm.
1. Vladdy's hitting dead center home runs. Bo Bichette's doing his thing. It was a great game. The George
Everyone got involved, dude. Everyone got involved in the action. I don't think anyone didn't have a hit.
no,
Other than shitty ass Springer. I think that was the only person who didn't get a hit that was playing.
yeah, no,
But it was great. Like, we had a lot of fun. Watching the Jays score a lot of runs, which they rarely do. And it was great. Like, that was a great starting point to the series. We thought that they would, keep this momentum going after the Thursday game, but clearly that didn't happen. The next two games were, like you said, pathetic.
they
Like,
just they
really
kind
pathetic.
of meshed together. I felt like I feel like those 2 games because it was like they just happened. They took no time whatsoever. Like those games, they were quick games because it was low scoring aside from the game against Manoa, but they were just home runs. They were home runs hit, and then Jays just went 3 up, 3 down constantly. So throughout the next 2 games, do you ever feel like
Yeah.
that though? Like those games will just like when they suck, just mesh together. Like they'll just be like forgotten in your head because of how
Yeah.
bad they were, and you would just
Yeah, like the beginning of the game that we live streamed, like the Jays, it was like 1-0 for like
the
what,
finished.
5-6 innings.
Yeah,
Yeah, until the seventh inning, it was 1-1. It was like really, it was like it went by fast. Like, they played 6 innings in like an hour and 15 minutes. Like, it was
yeah.
really quick, that game, up until towards the end when the Jays were scoring a lot of runs. But yeah, like, these short game, it's good in a sense because back when there wasn't no pitch clock, you'd be sitting in your seat the whole time waiting for the game to finish, even though it was like low scoring.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's good because then you can, if it's a low scoring game, then you can maybe do some other stuff instead of having to sit down and watch the game and watch some shitty offense. But yeah, I liked, like you said during the live stream, you said pitch clock, one of the best inventions in baseball. So I believe that too, because like when I used to go to Jays games before the pitch clock, it was like you'd be there for like at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
And especially in a low scoring game, you just want to go home,
Yeah.
right?
No, for sure. Like, yeah, it was especially so game two, Manoa pitched that game, and yeah, he was not the Manoa we saw in the last two starts against the
No.
Twins and the Rays. He was terrible, just terrible. Didn't
Yeah.
play well at all. He wasn't locating, first of all. That was one big factor. And then he was throwing pitches middle to Kerry Carpenter, he's fucking good right now. He is very
Hmm.
he's an electric player. So, and you know what? You throw change ups down the middle, they're cookies. And the Cookie Monster
Yeah.
gonna, so as David Ortiz says, Cookie Monster gonna eat. Nom 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 nom
Yep.
like that. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah, just a shitty game. And I thought for sure that they were going to win the series after game one. Did you think that too? Were you like
Oh yeah, I thought they would. Yeah, I
put up
think
a
the
put up a
second
nine
game was
spot?
just a bad game. Even though we had 10 hits, we just didn't, like always. But when we had runners in scoring position, we just couldn't fucking capitalize when we had runners on base, which is usual Jay's offense. But I definitely was confident that we'd at least win another one after the first game, at least tie the series.
Yeah.
And yeah, that didn't go to plan because Saturday's game was even worse than the second game. That game was fucking horrible. We had 6 hits and only one run, and the one run was what, Davis Schneider home run.
Yeah.
Or no, it was a double. It was a double because he brought in who did he bring in? He brought in someone off the double. I think it was Kiermaier or someone like that.
And
He
yeah.
brought in, and it was just like it was pathetic, dude. And going back to the second game, they scored all their runs before we scored. We scored all of our runs in the ninth inning, dude. That's the problem. We can't score early and often.
No, yeah, because when you're right. In baseball, when you score early, that's like one of the biggest advantages in the game. It doesn't mean you have to come back. It doesn't mean you have stress lifted from you because you're already winning. You just rely on your pitchers at that point. And that's just the inability of this team is like you score your runs in the first inning, which is the biggest struggle of this team. They never ever score in the first inning. It's always a quick 3 up 3 down 10 pitches, which is not good because you want to get the pitcher to throw a lot of pitches in the first inning. You want him to have a struggle. I want it to be a difficult first inning that kind of shakes him up. But if you don't do that, that just makes him feel that much more relaxed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not a good game. I just remember, yeah, game two was not good, and it sucks because there was nothing good around it. Low scoring, yeah, just not good.
No,
And
it wasn't a fun time.
and if we talk about game three right now, the Barrios absolutely shoved. Kerry Carpenter again took him deep, but 2 runs, you
Yeah.
have 2 runs, you should be able to win that game, and you don't.
He's still, yeah, 7 solid innings, man. Like Barrios has been good. It's just they can't fucking figure it out, dude. They
Yeah,
can't figure out how to get fucking runs in, dude.
yeah,
And like before, they scored 2 early runs. They scored their runs in the first inning, while we scored our only run in the seventh.
yeah. And
And nothing
yeah,
nothing happened. Nothing happened after that, or in between, or in those other innings. We just got hits and just couldn't capitalize.
no, you're right.
And what was I going to say? That Brios, after that 2 run inning, he was fucking solid. He gave up a couple hits here and there, but that's expected. You know, he's putting in the work that he's supposed to be doing, while the offense can't fucking do anything. Like Springer is a major liability in this team. He
Oh,
should be benched. He should be benched this series against
he
Chicago.
should, he
He
should
should not be playing.
his role needs to be turned into a bench bat at this point, like some defensive replacement off the bench because he is a liability. I want you to guess what he's hitting right now in the month of May.
I don't know in the month of May, but I have his
I
his
guess
his hitting stats right now is 188. But my guess is his this month is probably like 130 something.
145.
Yeah. That's abysmal, dude. That's not good for a
Nine.
guy who is a World Series MVP, and he's
Oh
been
yeah,
playing for a
this
long
guy,
time.
this guy 2 years ago was getting MVP, or maybe not in 2022, but this guy was a serious all-star. He was an all-star in 2022.
Yeah,
He was he yeah, he got hit 25 home runs, 267 average, 814 OPS. He was good. He was really good. And
he has a lower OPS than Kirk and Vogelback. 537 OPS right now.
terrible.
Lower than Vogelback, who doesn't even start every game. He plays like twice a week, and he has a
Yeah.
lower OPS than him. While Springer plays every game.
No,
That's atrocious, dude. That's so sad that this guy is playing that bad right now.
he's
I
just
don't know how I don't know what
getting
his
cooked.
contract's like. What's his con? Let me see. Let's see what his con. Yeah, he signed through 2026, 6 years, $150 million. This guy's getting paid between 21 to 26 million a year, and he's batting 145 in the month of May.
Look how terrible that contract has looked now. Like that
Yeah,
is not good.
horrible. He
Yeah.
still has 2 years left on his contract, and that's not going to last, dude. He's going to get if this continues, he's not going to last until July. He
No.
he might be gone if this keeps up because that guy cannot hit for shit. I can't believe I thought he was going to be the player of the year for the Jays. I can't believe I said that. I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. 40 home runs. Yeah, that's never going to happen again.
No, no, it will not.
That's never going to happen.
Pretty rough, man.
Horrible.
He was so good.
Horrible showing.
He was so good before. He used to be like such a fun player to watch, just like putting his body on the line and like in those crazy situations, crazy catches. Just I don't know
Yeah,
what
Vogelback has played 22 games and Springer has played 46 and Vogelback has a better OPS than him.
yeah.
Tragic, dude. Absolutely tragic.
And you want to know who's another worst player is which this has been like a obvious kind of repetition and pattern that that Ross Atkins has continued is signing these old players that are cooked by the end of their career and just
Yeah.
an example of that is Mr. Justin Turner, who's all of a sudden was hitting
Yeah.
like 360 at the end of April, and then now is hitting 222. By
Yeah.
April, actually, by April 30th, he was hitting 298. And then now he's hitting 222.
Yeah.
Month of May, oh my God, he is hitting 102. And this is the problem with Ross Atkins is he signs these like he makes these 1 year contracts like the Brandon Belt and Kevin Kiermaier and Whit Merrifield contracts of these old players that are very, very streaky because the year gets to them and by the end of the year they're like tough. And this is what happened at the end of the year for Justin Turner in 2022 with the Red Sox as well. He was not good at all. If we take a
Yeah.
look, he like it had gotten to him by then. The entire year. He had 228 in the month of September. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Ross is not. He just wants to fucking. He thinks that these 1 year contracts are going to help out improve this offense, and especially with the older guys, like he thinks like that'll bring experience. No, you got to bring guys who are maybe just outside of their prime, like IKF, who's playing great baseball right now, or you know,
or you need to sign long-term contracts or bring up players because this farm system is not good either. It's like you have to rely on these 1 year contracts of players to just all of a sudden have these spectacular years. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it pans out, and then other times it's not. It doesn't work. These players are just bad. And like
like he's Atkins is not going to sign Danny Jansen. He's not going to
no,
sign
he'll
him.
probably be a trade piece.
Yeah, he's not. He's gonna leave because he's our best offensive most consistent offensive bat this whole year, and he's not going to be signed because Ross Atkins probably likes Kirk more. Kirk
Yeah.
hitting 209. But I don't know, man. This front office, it reminds me of the my soccer team Chelsea's front office. They just played at the end of the calendar year. They just played great, and then they sacked the manager. They fired the manager, and they're going to bring in another guy from a lower level team to come in and figure out the mess.
Yeah.
American ownership, dude. It makes no sense to me.
Man, you
I don't
needed
understand.
you needed to win these games. You needed to win this series against Detroit, and you just didn't. And that goes to show that this team is there's not much more for this team. They can turn it around. I'm sure they can, but it's the more time that passes by, the less likely. That's just math. That's just basic,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't
It
know.
was like that. It was like that. Like Moneyball, for example. Like I remember, like they brought in David Justice, who was old at the time, or a bit like an older player at the time when the A's signed him, and like one of the scouts or whatever, he was like, "You'll be good for like June, like early season, but like in the dog days, like July, August, he's not going to perform as well because he's getting older and he's probably going to get tired as the season goes on."
Mm.
So obviously that didn't really, prove my case with, Turner or Kiermaier, but like it's still a general concern
Yeah.
when it comes to bringing in these older guys to try and perform, kind of like Brandon Belt last year.
Oh man, yeah, he was horrible in the month of April. I remember that. Like he's striking out and could not see any pitch. But anyway, game 4 was the cherry on top of this series of being one, maybe the worst loss of the entire season.
Yeah,
Knife, dagger to the heart, twist and turn. Just that's the entire game. You
yeah,
start off, it's like you're down 5-0. What was it? Something like that, 5-1. Then
yeah,
you're like, okay, well, this game's over. I like this team's not coming back from it. It sucks. We're gonna about to lose this series. Then you start climbing back. You're like, all right, let's see this. This could be some entertaining baseball. It's only the 4th inning. We've got some stuff cooking up. IKF comes in with a home run. We got some more runs from just base hits and home runs from Kevin Biggio. So things start to come back, and then 3-run home run by who was it? I forget the guy's name, but yeah,
yeah. It was 8-3 after the 5th inning,
yeah.
and then 9-5. So and then we cut it down to 9-6 after the 7th. So it wasn't like
Austin Kelly.
it wasn't over, but based off this Jays offense, we kind of had an inkling that this would be done. And then Varsho out of fucking nowhere hits this moonshot, dude, and makes it 11-9. And we're like, okay, maybe we might be able to
Oh,
close
I
this
thought
out,
we were
dude.
gonna win the game. It was the top of the
Yeah,
inning, and
yeah,
we were winning by 11-9. I thought
yeah,
100% we were gonna 11-9. So I thought 100% we were gonna win this game. You got Jimmy Garcia and Jordan Romano coming in. I thought
yeah,
we were 100% gonna win this game. Then you got old man Marcana to right center field, scores 2 runs.
yeah,
Then I was like, Jimmy Garcia just all of a sudden, came out of nowhere. And this team can't be on the same line when it comes to pitching and hitting. You
yeah,
score 11 runs, but you give up 14 runs. You
yeah,
can't do that in a game. You can't do that. Like, especially if you're trying to win and you're trying to be a team that's competing for something. This team just doesn't line up, and it never has. It's constantly been mediocre. It's been abysmal to watch, and this is what this team is. And if I'm this team, you got to trade him. There's some light at the end of this tunnel, and in terms of Vladdy, but Vladdy's been awesome, 300 average. But Matt Vierling, that home run was
yeah. And look who fucking gave it up,
Jordan Romano. I
Mister
know, I don't
Mister.
know what's
Yeah,
going on with this guy. Like that was terrible, horrible, absolutely horrendous what he did. Yeah, like Of course. Just
Not
stop
good at all,
throwing
man.
sliders down the middle. Throw a fastball. Walk the guy. I don't care. Your fastball is disgusting. Stop
Yeah.
throwing sliders right down the middle of the plate. Like mental midget, man. He's terrible.
Yeah, that was not a good pitch. I'm just looking back at it again. That was a horrible pitch.
Yeah.
Low and inside, just over the plate, just
Oh,
fucking
right.
brutal.
It's smooth like butter, man. That's how
Yeah,
off the bat. Boom.
fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Horrible. Like you and like I've said this, I don't know how many times. When we bat like shit, our pitching's good. But when we bat amazing, our pitching shit. Like there's no you can't there's it's a rare it's like a fucking miracle when the batting and the pitching are on the same terms. Just like Thursday when we watched that game. That was like a 1 in 15 game of Gosman played fucking awesome and we batted well. That rarely happens with this team.
Yeah.
It's either or, you know. I don't know. I don't understand it, man. Like I literally keep saying the same shit every week. I keep saying the same shit every week. It makes no sense to me.
Oh, I believe you.
Can't figure it out.
It's terrible. Just a horrible game.
We
And
can't we can't let Vlad have 3 hits. And not 3 hits, 4 hits in a game and we lose.
I know.
Like
You're
that's unacceptable.
and that brings up
Unacceptable.
the question. Like, I think like you can't trade this guy. You can't trade him. You want him to be part of your franchise if this is who he is, man. He's still young. You can sign him to a long-term deal and he's going to be here for a long time. I'd love that. I'd love to see Vladdy in a Jay's
Mm,
and you know what? I'll say that I'd said that last year as well. Like even when he wasn't that good, this guy brings it back. He brings it to this team. He brings that energy, I guess you could say.
yeah.
So it's rough. It's really hard to watch. That's for
Yeah.
sure. And hopefully they can turn it around. This series against this, I think, series um against
The
Chicago
way
White Sox will give us everything we need to know about this team. This will be the most showing thing about this team. If they lose
if
this,
we
if they lose a game, I think they're selling at the deadline.
Yeah. No, I think if they lose this series, like if they get swept or they lose 2 out of 3, then I think Schneider's gone.
Oh yeah,
I think Schneider's
you
gone
have
right
to.
after
You
this.
have to, man. This is
Yeah.
terrible, embarrassing. This team
Yeah.
has won one series in the last 10 series. Terrible.
Yeah. And
Let's
that was against the White Sox,
you know
the
what?
worst team in baseball.
What's the positives of this team right now? What's some positives? So we're not all
Well, Vladdy's playing great. Jansen's playing great. Varsho has 10 homers
yep.
in before June, which is very surprising. Um, Gosman's starting to figure it out on the mound, which is nice. After that last outing, Barrios once again, he's been very consistent. Um, that's all I can really think of. Yimi Garcia, probably the only solid bullpen guy we have, consistent bullpen person we have.
You better.
That's the only thing I can think of. That's all I can really think of.
My question. Okay,
Everything else is messy.
I got something to ask you though. Right now, what do you think Vladdy's hitting in the month of May?
I think I last saw it was like 370 something.
He's hitting 402 right now.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's very good.
very good, very very good.
Yeah, he
Very,
has to have like one of the top batting averages in May in the AL, right near with like Aaron Judge and
Luis Ariz has
Soto.
pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, he's great too. He since he went to San Diego, he's been popping off.
Yeah.
People are hating Arias because this guy doesn't hit homers. But it's like he's like the new Tony Gwynn, man. The guy
Oh,
doesn't need to hit homers, dude. There's very little players in the MLB that are like him. Base hits are fucking crucial in baseball, dude. And you're hating on him because he can't hit a fucking homer. Grow up. People don't know how baseball works, man.
Yeah. No,
Contact hitters are as good as
he's hitting 335, Luis Arise.
yeah.
Last 30 days, Vladdy has the highest average of any player in the last 30 days.
Really?
409.
Even better than Judge?
Judge hitting 380. Luis Arise
Okay.
hitting 369. JT hitting 346. Jurix and Profar 344. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Last 15 days, Vladdy again 400. Last 7 days, Vladdy in third with 417.
Yeah.
Been good, man.
Yeah, well, he's definitely earning his money, man. That's for sure. Not fucking Springer. Springer's getting paid more than Vladdy, and this reminds me a lot of fucking John Tavares for the Leafs. Gets paid more than most of the players on the team, but he produces less than them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This team has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
It starts from the top to the bottom, dude. Starts from the top to
Vladdy
the
has
bottom.
is probably the best first baseman in all of baseball right now.
Are you taking him or are you taking Freddie Freeman?
He has a better average than Freddie Freeman right now. He has the same amount of home runs.
Okay.
Uh
What about Matt Olson?
Matt
Matt
Olson,
Olson playing good this year?
no, he is not. He's
No? Okay. Okay.
230 with I think 8 home runs. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But right
Okay.
now in the league, Vladdy has been the best, pretty much probably the best first baseman in terms of like hitting. Uh,
Okay.
he's got the Connor Joe is up there. That's hilarious.
Connor Joe.
Connor Joe.
That's a MLB The Show legend right there.
Yeah.
Connor Joe.
So it's good to see, man. That's all I
Yeah.
want. With this guy, he's the face of this franchise, and I wanted to
Yeah.
like that. And I love that the jacket's back for him. So he's
Yeah.
great player. He's
Too
fun.
bad the other guys can't fucking put it on.
Yeah, I know.
Other than IKF, IKF has loved the home run jacket
IKF's
recently.
at four home runs, bro. This guy, IKF.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at IKF stats before we go on to the next discussion. But IKF right now is hitting 270 as
Very good.
it's pretty good, man.
Very good. For a guy who's
he's hitting
brought in.
284. Yeah, man. That's good. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah. That was supposed to be what Merrifield was supposed to be doing. And he didn't do none of that.
Well, IKF's still young though, too. So that's the other thing. Like he's
Yeah.
20s, which is great. Like
Yeah.
he's 29, yeah. So
29.
that's like peak career, That's like that's
Yeah.
when you're at your best. So love to see it and hope he continues. Obviously, you'll have your slumps and everything like that, but this guy's 270. He can hit the ball, he put the barrel to the ball. Love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to our next discussion. Top 5 things. You wanna break it down for us?
Yeah. So this week we've kind of switched it up a bit. It's not really a top 5, but what we're going to be doing is making our all-time great hockey lineup. So we're also going to do this next week with baseball, which will be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that one too. But what we're going to do for hockey is we're going to make a forward line, defensive line, goalie, and all-time coach. So make sure, center, left wing, right wing. Defense, it doesn't really matter. Like left defense and right defenseman, you can put 2 lefties on if you want. And then goalie and coach. So it's gonna be a fun one. Should be interesting what these lineups are gonna look like, but I'll start it off here. All right, at center, I think it's pretty obvious who I'm gonna pick. The best team athlete of all time, Wayne Gretzky. Biggest record holder in any team sport ever. In my opinion, better than Jordan, better than Brady.
Oh wow.
As in terms of an athlete and
Yeah.
the amount of records that he holds. I'm just trying to think of baseball. Better than Babe Ruth, 100%.
Babe Ruth, fucking fat ass. Like he's no,
Yeah, I'm just saying in
What?
terms of records,
Fair enough.
and stuff. So yeah, give me Wayne Gretzky at center. Left wing, I was looking. I've known this in the past that there's not many great left wings. Obviously, there's great ones, but um not that many significant ones like that pop out. But I think the main guess here is Alex Ovechkin. I mean, probably in the end of the day, probably the best goal scorer in league history. Just as a pure goal scorer, guy can fucking shoot it anywhere and it'll go in. Just put him on the power play, get in his fucking office on the left side, holding this fucking stick, just standing. Don't have to move for. He doesn't even have to move. Get the slap shot ready. He's good. So I got Ovi at the left, right wing. This was a tough decision for me. There's a lot of great right wings in NHL history. Complete opposite of the left wings. But I think just in terms of longevity and how many teams he's done it with, and second most points in league history, give me Jaromir Jagr. I think he's got the mullet too back in the day when he was in his prime. He's got the flow, got the style. He's done it. He's done it for his country. He's done it with Pittsburgh and the Rangers. He's done it. He's done it with everyone. And I got to go with him. I think him, Ovechkin, and Gretzky's probably the best combination you could put on a forward line. In terms of defense, this was a hard pick for me too because I used to play defense back in the day, and I idolized a lot of my game behind these guys. Defense, I think this is the consensus, probably top three defenseman of all time. I'm going to go with Bobby Orr. Just the fact that he can, play defensively and also fucking skate circles around you if he wanted to. He's like Cale Makar gets compared to him a lot in terms of a modern day comparison, but I'm going to go with Bobby Orr on the left. And on the right, I'm going to go with a little underrated one. People would probably think, Paul Coffey or Ray Bourque, but I'm going to go with Nick Lidstrom. I think you need a bit of a more shutdown defenseman. I think that was what he was, so good at when he played for Detroit. He could also score on you. That guy was fucking awesome. He made some great assists back in the day, and that's what your defenseman needs to do. So I'm going to go with Nick Lidstrom on the right. Great defenseman. In goalie, this is a tough decision for me as well. A lot of great goalies have come through the NHL, but I think just because he's done it with Montreal, he's done it with Colorado. Give me Patrick Waugh. I was in between Patrick Waugh and Dominic Hasek. No offense to Martin Brodeur, but I think Waugh is just, when he was in his prime, man, he carried that 86 Canadiens team and that 93 Canadiens team to the cup. Because when you think of that 93 Canadiens team, you only think of Patrick Waugh, in my opinion. You can't. It's hard to name the forwards or the defensemen on that team. The only person I can really think of is Kurt Muller or Vincent Damphousse. But Patrick Waugh was the heart of that team, and I think that just exemplifies how good he is. So I'm going to go with him at goalie. And then as the coach running the squad, I'm going to go with the most winning coach in NHL history. Give me Scotty Bowman. That guy did it for everyone, dude. He won with Montreal. He won with Pittsburgh. He won with the Devils, I think. That guy's won with everyone. And I think that says a lot about a coach. He's kind of like the Phil Jackson of the NHL. That guy's, whatever team he would coach, they won. And I think that just makes him be on the team. So that's my all-time hockey lineup right there. I think it's pretty solid.
Fair enough.
Let's hear yours. Ryan.
All right. Let's begin. All right. At center, we got not Wayne Gretzky, but we got our boy Sid the Kid. Sid the Kid.
Good choice.
I watched this guy growing up all through a public school as I was a kid. Idolized the guy. He was the best hockey player of all time, in my opinions. Still fucking throwing it back, man. This guy is still insane. 42 goals this season, 94 points season. He's still one of the best players in the league, and he's 36 years old. So you got to go with this guy.
100%.
3 cups already. That just goes to show that your ability to be an elite player, play on an elite team, and be a great leader. So um, that's what
And
I
only with the Penguins too. Stayed with the Penguins his whole
exactly.
career. I
Yeah,
don't know what he's. I don't know what he's going to do this
loyalty.
year.
Loyalty is incredible. So
Mhm.
yeah, can't go wrong with Sid the Kid. Absolute legend. On left wing, another guy who's been very loyal to his team is still with the same team. And came up around the same time as Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, at
Mhm.
left wing. That guy, that little what do they call it? His little kitchen, where he
His
just
office.
office,
His
yeah,
office on that. Yeah, that left wing in the ozone.
in the ozone.
It's a spot. That's a
It's
spot.
absolutely filthy. This guy, all he does is score. All he does is score. Great leader again, continues to just be insane. Still a very good player. What did he score? 36 goals, something like that. 30, 35, 40 goals
Yeah,
this.
he's
So
only. I think he's only like 35, 36 goals away from. No, 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 no. Like 40 goals away. He's like 40 goals away from Gretzky's record.
will he do it? Not sure though. That's a good question.
Hmm.
But honestly, his legacy is still there. First ballot Hall of Famer. You already know
Yeah.
he's making that. And left wing. I mean, just think about it. Sidney Crosby, incredible passer. I just know he's
Yeah, him and Ovechkin on the line would be dirty. Be
would be the
dirty combination.
another winger known for his passing ability and goal scoring ability all around. Just points. This guy is the all-time leader in wingers for points. One of the all-time leaders, I think. Mike Bossy, absolute legend
Good
at right
pick.
wing.
Good pick.
Um, just filthy. Just another guy,
Hmm.
goal scorer. I feel like in his time, like, as he was around, uh, he was a NHL player at the same time as Gretzky. I feel like maybe he was a little bit underrated, undervalued, sort of like Messier. Still obviously Hall of Fame player, insane player. Uh, Give me that 1, 2, 3 would just be insane because they're also just great guys overall. I think on the ice, especially. So I think that
Hmm.
would be one of the best top 3 lineups of all time. Um,
Yeah.
Defense, underrated player. Um, Loved this team when I was growing up. Bandwagon for sure. I'll say just because they had an insane lineup. First defense, Duncan Keith. Uh,
Ooh.
Absolute. He was the best defender in hockey for a long time. One of the best
Yeah.
in the last like 10 years. He was on an insane team with Patrick Kane and Taves and Sharp and Marion
Yeah.
Hosa. So he had a great lineup that he was surrounded by and was one of the best defensemen. Won the MVP for when he won the cup, and I think it was 2000 and was it 13, something like that. Maybe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. He won the Conn Smythe, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so again, another guy with 3 championships, I want to say. And yeah, he's absolutely insane. And then second, I never watched this guy play, but I know how good he was. I've heard about how good he was. Ray Bork, man, like
Yeah.
in Austin, Colorado. What other team was it? Just those 2 teams that he played for?
Yeah. Just those two.
Yeah.
Because he retired
So
after he won the cup with the
captain,
Avalanche.
and yeah, and then he ended up winning a cup with the Avalanche in his age 39 season. Ray Bork, can't say enough about him. He's obvious Hall of Famer and one of the best defensemen to ever do it. Just putting up numbers, putting up assists, and yeah, there you go. And finally, actually not finally, but for a goalie, I'm gonna go with the Iron Man, Martin Brodeur.
Yeah.
This guy is playing 77 to 80 games, seasons in a row, and putting up a 2.14 goals against average. Insane. Putting up over 900 save percentages. Just incredible, absolutely incredible. He is one of the reasons it was called like the no goal era or whatever it was called because of his ability to just stop people from scoring because he
Yeah.
was so good. Martin
Hmm.
Brodeur, absolute legend, Canadian legend too.
Mhm.
Yeah, can't say enough about him. Finally, obviously, Scotty Bowman. You said it
Yep.
yourself. The best. He is one. I have it right here. He is one.
9 cups.
9 cups. Yeah. So it's too easy.
Yeah.
Too easy to say. All right,
Yeah.
that's right there. That's your goal as a coach. Your goal as a coach is to put up a lineup and get the best out of your players and win.
Yeah.
That's what he did, man. So
Sorry, he didn't coach. Okay, he coached the
yeah,
Red
he didn't
Wings,
coach
like
the
prime
Devils.
Red Wings. That team was fucking nasty, dude, with Yzerman and Shanahan
Yep.
and Lidstrom when
And
Lidstrom
Lindstrom,
was younger. That team was something else, man.
yep.
That
They
team was
won two
nasty. I
cups
totally
in a
forgot
row
he coached Red
back in the
Wings.
late '90s. Went to the Cup or Stanley Cup Finals 3 times with the Detroit Red Wings. So yeah, incredible. He had a winning percentage in his career, 510 and 193. So
That's fucking insane.
oh, and
I don't think there's any other coach in like
that's just
sports history
sorry. That
that's
was
like
just
that.
with the Detroit Red Wings. In all of
Oh, okay.
NHL's NHL career, 2001-41 and 1244 losses. That right there, or wait, no, fuck, I fucked it up again. 1,244 wins, 573 losses, and that would be at
Yeah.
your percentage, 657. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was with the Canadians in the 70s when they won like fucking 4 straight.
Oh, yeah, when he was with
He
the
won
Canadiens,
five. He won 5 with the Canadians
he had a
with that
7
that fucking ridiculous
win
team.
percentage with that Montreal Canadiens team in the
Wow.
70s.
Yeah, and then you won one with Pittsburgh. The second cup that they won. With Jagger and Lemieux and all them. And then
Yep.
he won back to back with Detroit. Like the guy's done it with 3 different teams. I mean, you can't blame him though. Like the teams that he had fucking ridiculous teams with him.
Yeah,
But I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Like,
dude, man. Like, what about these Leafs? They have insane teams. They have insane players on their team,
yeah,
and they can't do anything to get anything done.
yeah,
Obviously, that sorry, not Detroit, Detroit Red Wings team, I'm sure was a really good team, but they were a pretty top heavy team as well with Yzerman, Shanahan, Sergei Fedorov, and like Nicholas Lindstrom. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna. They were just all good all around. I can't say anything.
yeah,
They were just a very good team, but you know what? If you still need to be able to put on a winning team and make smart decisions as a coach. There's a lot to
yeah.
be coached. And I think, you know, this guy has the track record that shows it to you that he is the best of the greatest of
hmm
all time. So yeah. But yeah, I think that sums it up. Anything else you want to add?
No. I think this is gonna be a good one this week. I don't know who's gonna win this week because we've picked completely different lineups other than the coach and Ovechkin because there's not that many left wings. But yeah, this would be interesting. You've kind of gone for the modern day team with Crosby and Duncan Keith, and I've kind of gone for the old schools with Bobby Orr and Gretzky. Should be interesting. Should be very interesting.
Yeah. So again, because recency bias as well, because these people
Well,
know.
I've never seen Gretzky or play,
That's
but
what
I
I
just know
know.
that their legend
I know
is.
everyone knows that they're legends, but I'm saying like because of these players, I might get the upper hand because recency bias
Yes, you're
with
right.
Duncan Keith and everyone has seen those guys play. So, and yeah. All right. Well, let's end it off. Thank you guys so much for listening. Stay tuned for more content. I'm gonna keep it rolling. Make some TikToks and yeah, have a good one. Cheers and see you soon.